Well, poor people need to be able to grow enough food to feed their family. And if we don't raise that productivity in a sustainable way, they'll go and cut down more forest, there'll be instability. It's terrible for the environment. And so making sure that through soil preservation, through better seeds, crops that work even when there's less rain, that we can do this on the appropriate land and not deplete it, that is absolutely key to us. And we've seen now that the new seed varieties can more than double productivity of the key crops. Well, in every country, we're mostly reliant on the citizens of that country to actually reach out to the families and explain that the vaccines are good, or to educate the farmers on these new practices. The credibility can often come from regional partners. You know, for example, in Pakistan and Afghanistan, if it's just from the United States, they may not trust it the same way as if it's a partner like Abu Dhabi or the Islamic Development Bank coming in and getting involved in that cause and even sending people out into that area. So this idea of global credibility, that this, we're really just trying to help, there's no hidden agenda, that's important. Well, we're very excited about the partnerships we have here. The Crown Prince has supported both polio and vaccination with some very significant gifts that have been targeted to Pakistan and Afghanistan. He's had a team of doctors go in and do vaccinations there. The country's also supported the guinea worm eradication in Africa. Well, I believe that at a global level, we're rich enough, we have enough innovative science that we can afford to prevent childhood death. We can afford to prevent child not having enough nutrition. We need to focus a bit more on those areas of science. We need to focus on delivering, even in these very tough countries, look at where that works and take the lesson from that. And it's easy to not focus on the poorest because they're not in the news all the time. Well, when I visit Africa, I see the incredible need there. But there's parts of Africa where I'd go and see kids dying of malaria. Now with bed nets, you go in, there's hardly any kids even getting malaria. And so that's only in a 4-year period seen a dramatic change. If you take a longer period, you have countries like Korea, South Korea, which was getting lots of aid from the United States, had nutrition problems, disease problems. Now they've been so successful in 30 years, they've gone from being a recipient to actually being a very significant donor to helping out other poor countries. And so as more and more countries graduate, China is now a net contributor. India is still a recipient, but in 10 years, they'll start to be a contributor. We have a lot more of us helping those left in need. Well, Microsoft writes software for all the intelligent devices, whether it's phones, tablets. Personal computers are selling a record amount. They're coming down in price, and that full screen experience is quite valuable. One of the great innovations of Windows 8 is bringing you the benefits of a tablet and a PC in a single system. Instead of having to think of those as two separate things, you can have a single device that gives you both. The new devices are pretty amazing to me when you can start using a pen to take your notes, when your whiteboard becomes intelligent, where all the educational material in the world is available and you can test your knowledge. Well, in my technology work, probably the most exciting thing was the creation of the software industry. There were no software companies, and by creating DOS and then Windows, we allowed literally tens of thousands of companies to write applications, and because there were so many PCs, they could price them very inexpensively. Well, a financial cycle like we're going through is tougher than a business cycle, and I am optimistic that in the next few years the key economies will get back and going, including the United States. Well, our foundation works with both political parties, and so we don't go out and take a strong position for one of the candidates. The issues of most importance for me are around generosity to the poorest, the foreign aid commitments, the commitment to keep investing in the education system, and that. So those would be the key things I look at. But our foundation will work with whoever gets elected in the best way we can.